Hi, my name is Sarah Dreyfke, and I'm a graduate student in nutrition and dietetics at NIU. And today I'm sharing with you Panera's best kept secret, the recipe to their warm, creamy, and delicious broccoli cheddar soup. Okay, so this isn't really coming straight out of Panera's vault, but it's as close to the real thing as you're going to get without having to go to their nearest restaurant, and it's even healthier too. So the first thing I did was just saute a little bit of onions. I used about 1 tablespoon of butter and then sauteed half of a medium chopped onion in that until the onion was translucent. So we're just going to set that aside. Now instead of butter you could use margarine or oil as well. These are pretty close calorie-wise, but where they tend to differ is in their flavor and also in the types of fats that they have. Thinking about unsaturated versus saturated fats. And for quite some time, saturated fat and butter was kind of demonized for causing different negative health impacts like high cholesterol, heart disease. But studies are now showing that it doesn't have such a negative impact on heart health as long as you're consuming it in moderation. So I like the flavor of butter, so that's why I'm using it here. But next we're going to whisk together about 1/4 cup of melted butter, and again you could swap other oils or fats, and 1/4 cup of flour, and just heat that over medium heat for about 3 to 5 minutes. So this is going to be the thickener for our soup and what's going to give it that creamy texture that you get in a bowl from Panera. So I've already had this going for a few minutes, so now I'm going to slowly pour in about 2 cups of 2% milk. And other recipes have called for half and half cream here, which is a blend of whole milk and a light cream, so it has a higher fat than regular milk. And this extra fat, much like that this flour mixture that we have going, is going to make the soup very creamy and thick. But I don't mind a slightly thinner soup, so I'm going to lighten it up a little bit. I just chose to go with the 2% milk. So we'll just add that in. And if you have access to a blender, one thing you could do is chop up about a head of cauliflower and use those lighter milks, the 1% or the skim, and blend them together, so that way you're sneaking in an extra vegetable and you're also lightening it up even a little bit more. So once we whisk this in, the last thing to finish off the base of our soup is just going to be adding in about 2 cups of chicken stock. You could easily substitute vegetable stock as well if you're vegetarian. And these broths tend to contain a lot of sodium, so I chose a lower sodium option just to help control that. But now once we have this mixed together, we're just going to let it simmer for about 20 minutes, just making sure that we come back and stir it occasionally. Alright, so we're back to our soup base. It's been stewing for about 20 minutes, so to this we're going to add all of our vegetables. So first, the onions that we sauteed earlier. Go ahead and add those to our soup. And we're going to add about 1/2 pound of fresh broccoli. It's just been chopped up into bite-sized pieces. And also about 1 cup of some julienne carrots. So julienne is just a type of cut. They kind of look like little matchsticks. Add those as well. So this recipe calls for fresh, but you could also use frozen vegetables. So frozen vegetables have all the same great benefits as fresh, so the vitamins and minerals and fiber. And they can often be a very convenient option and to keep stocked, and they don't go bad as fast. Now we've added those in, and again we're just going to let this sit on low for about another 20 to 25 minutes. Alright, so our soup is really starting to take shape. It just needs a few more finishing touches. So I'm going to add about 8 ounces of grated sharp cheddar cheese. And then for a final dash of flavor, I'm going to add about 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg. And depending on your taste, you could add salt or pepper here as well. Mix it up. And there you have it, a broccoli cheddar soup that can compete with any Panera. Now there are tons of variations and options to really make this soup your own. You could add in extra veggies with the broccoli and carrots, different cheeses, add some garlic to your onions, chopped chicken or ground turkey to add a little more protein. You can add different spices at the end. The options are really limitless, so have fun experimenting. Thanks.